Wrestling, the dynamic clash of combat testing warriors of strength and speed in technical battles to determine a winner, and eventually crown the best of them as champion. Since a young age, I was obsessed with this incredible medium, and I knew one day I had to be a part of it. I'd fight with my friends and we'd make championship belts out of cardboard. With my knowledge of wrestling moves and my natural athleticism, I always ended up the champion of our little promotion we made. And it was then I started to get an idea. What if I actually became a champion? A real one, not some owner of a cardboard belt, but a champion of the most grand wrestling company in the world, WWE, World Wrestling Entertainment. So after I finished school, I started throwing myself right at my passion. I picked a name that suited me perfectly, JP Valentine. The name of a superstar. From Ring of Honor to Evolve, I would fight throughout the indies, building up my resume as a once-in-a-lifetime talent of wrestling. Others in the field were good, but I was something that couldn't be denied. I was a wrestling god, an absolute prodigy. When I was having a match in a garage in some guy's grandma's backyard in Minneapolis, I got a call from WWE. I had finally been noticed and they were offering me a contract right up to their big-time show, Friday Night SmackDown. Immediately, I realized that I couldn't just go to WWE wearing any plain old gear like most of the other wrestlers have. I needed to have my identity. I needed gear that was me, matching the SmackDown style of the color blue as the accent of my gear. I would use white as the base to signify that this was a bright start of my career. I looked the part and I knew I had the ability. It was now time for the entrance, an important part of wrestling's presentation. Finding the right entrance is an important aspect of every WWE superstar. Unfortunately for my first entrance attempt, instead of hitting the pyro cue, they summoned an old god. Instead, I settled for a simple entrance that shows off my confidence and personality without the need to summon the old god of pyrotechnics. Now it's time for Friday Night SmackDown, a show that began in 1999 and has hosted classic matches and amazing stars. Today would be my debut match on the show, and it was time for the lights to go on and the show to begin.
It's SmackDown Live time! Are you guys ready? What a night this is gonna be!
Nothing like it. My first match was against Sheamus, a former two-time WWE champion, a brawler unlike any other. For most, a fight against Sheamus was a fight for their lives, but I had experience. In my time in the indie circuit, I'd become a god of wrestling. Nobody in the world could compare, and I was gonna show Sheamus my skill. Entering live on SmackDown was nothing like entering in the indies. The atmosphere and the roar of the crowd had me taken aback, and then I heard my announcement.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall, making his way to the ring from New York, weighing in at 215 pounds, Big Magic, JP Valentine.
Chills went up my spine when I realized that this was the place that I belonged. Sheamus then entered, built like a brick house. He is a terrifyingly massive man, but I had trained for this. I knew I could take him down. Taking in the sights one last time, I realized that it was time to get down to business. Sheamus stared me down and I knew he was ready. The bell rings and the butterflies are gone. I started loading immediately, wasting no time, but Sheamus is strong, and every hit feels like getting hit by a truck. While Sheamus has brute strength, I have the technique and power behind my striking that directed to the head can stun any giant. My speed will be the key. Sheamus goes for power holds, but my style of wrestling is a perfect counter, using fast strikes to stun him and leave him open for incredible athleticism like the Moonsault Tornado DDT. Now that he's dazed, it's getting easier and easier to drop Sheamus down. It's just a matter of time. I start being just an absolute piece of shit to this man, showcasing just how slow he is compared to me. Then I pop him with a cyclone kick and the monster stays standing. I just pissed him off, and he starts beating the shit out of me. Sheamus is a natural fighter, so for me to attempt to outdo him in a contest of strong style wrestling was a weird choice, but I started to feel that fighting spirit and kept coming back to keep fighting after every shot. I jump with a diving forearm and I just blast Sheamus. Dazed and groggy, Sheamus taking a bit to get back to his feet, so I got ready. Prepping for my grand finish, prepping for the end of this match, and Sheamus just throws me off easily. Counter after counter, we keep on the offensive as we fight, before I get a big kick right on Sheamus' big-ass jaw. Finally, there was an opening. I set it up and hit my finisher, the Star Destroyer, a match-ending move in the grand finale. I went for the pin and the ref counts 1, 2, The motherfucker kicked out of my finisher. Sheamus may have kicked out, but he was completely out of energy. So I hoisted him up and formed an electric chair driver. Not a move I vibe with, but desperate times call for desperate measures. The ref counts 1, 2, 3. I had beaten Sheamus and earned his respect in my first match. I had firmly put my first foot in the door of the WWE. Backstage after my victory, I met with Vincent Kennedy McMahon, CEO of the company. He claimed I was the future of WWE. I couldn't be happier. I go back home, relax, and play some Elden Ring until a thought runs through my head. In WWE and in life, I'm the main character. Nobody can defeat me. I arrived to the next SmackDown show and I'm greeted by Michael P.S. Hayes, one of the fabulous Freebirds. Hayes tells me my next opponent's gonna be Buddy Murphy. Murphy's a once-in-a-lifetime great in wrestling, with incredibly fast strikes and power to back it up. He's a competitor to be feared, but he lacks the it factor that resonates off wrestlers like me. Match time. I enter first my bright grace illuminating the arena, followed by Murphy's smothering darkness of mediocrity. Instantly, this is a different matchup from Sheamus. Murphy is just as fast as me, if not faster, so I can't rely on my speed to win. But I have a counter on my quick reflexes, dodging his strikes and slipping out of any grapple-like offense he attempts to get on me. Feeling confident in my victory, I decided to try a new move from the top rope. Unfortunately, it ended in grand failure, but I knew this was an easy win. This match is the done deal, and I was just getting ready to finish it when Murphy began to fight back. I didn't think any of it up until he caught me slacking. Murphy's Law, his big finish. Fucker knocks the wind out of me. I can't even breathe at this point, but when the ref drops down, I kick out at 1. I am invincible. I run up and hit the Star Destroyer. Murphy's body is completely lifeless and I go for the cover. 1, 2, 3. There was no other result that could have happened in this match. I'm just far too skilled for someone like Murphy to be a challenge. At the end, I gave him the honor of shaking my hand. That Wednesday, I was interviewed on WWE's The Bump. I made a statement saying within the next couple of months, I would not only get a world title opportunity, I would become world champion. This was a warning to the top champs. I was going to turn their worlds upside down. Backstage at SmackDown, I'm told my next opponent is Happy Corbin. This is an absolute insult at this point. I deserve main event caliber wrestlers. Corbin was a much larger man than me, but he had no ounce of seriousness. Someone like this could never defeat me. Corbin was not a worthy opponent. The only way I'd ever get hit was through small errors like fighting ghosts. I waited for Corbin to get on his feet and ended him with the Star Destroyer. It felt like a waste to use such a beautiful move on a worthless opponent. This match was a disappointment, and I knew I deserved better. Following the match, I barged into Vince's office and shouted that I deserved a better matchup that's fitting of the megastar future champion that I am. I deserved a title match. Vince said I was too new for that, but he could still put me in the Money in the Bank match. I was absolutely insulted. The Money in the Bank match is a match where the winner receives a briefcase containing a world title match contract. They can cash in that contract at any time, following a grueling match or in the middle of one. The problem, however, is that the briefcase with the contract is hung high above the ring, and the only way to get it is by climbing up a ladder and taking it for yourself while 7 other men are swatting you down. I deserved a title match with the star-making performance that I had put on, but this was a match for an opportunity for a title match. I shouldn't have to jump through hoops like this. I am above this. I deserve the title match without these extra steps. I was going to prove Vince wrong. I am a natural talent. So the time came for the Money in the Bank match, against a group of superstars I would have to beat. But I had a strategy. Many wrestlers are determined to show off their skills, but the world already knows mine. I've made them clear, so instead I'll show off my brains and outsmart my opponents to win. With this, I can prove to Vince that I am the guy. The match contained my old enemy Sheamus, and I already knew how to face him. But now I'd have to contend with Cesaro, the Swiss Cyborg. The name is pretty accurate. He has freakish strength above that of men twice his size, and strikes way too hard to even consider me tanking a punch. Eric of the Viking Raiders. One half of a great team, Eric is the powerhouse of the Viking Raiders, so I can expect him to try to use that against me. The international star and king of strong style, Shinsuke Nakamura. As his name implies, I really don't want to trade strikes with Shinsuke. Avoid at all costs. The incredibly talented, obnoxious Sami Zayn. If it wasn't for his tendency to get distracted by his own lunacy, I would be most afraid of Sami Zayn. Member of the New Day, Xavier Woods. The tactician who can outsmart most wrestlers, the biggest threat to my current strategy. And another member of the New Day, Kofi Kingston, former world champion and incredible athlete, cannot afford to take my eyes off him for any moment. I wasn't afraid of competition, I was ready, but ladder matches were immediate chaos. Different from normal matches I was used to, ladder matches require me to focus on multiple enemies all at once rather than a single opponent. But small obstacles like this aren't hard for the living star that I am. Caught in the moment, I decided to climb a ladder on the outside with the plan of leaping onto Xavier Woods. I waited for the perfect moment and missed entirely. I went back into focus mode and tried my best to ignore the laughs I was hearing from the crowd. It was now time for my advanced strategy. I would sit back and wait as everyone else wailed on each other. This way I could catch my breath and they would all exhaust themselves. Cesaro wouldn't take a liking to the strategy and opted to show me the difference in our brute strength. Had he not caught me off guard, I could easily have beaten him 1v1. Sheamus seemed more jealous of Shinsuke being around his former tag partner Cesaro than being focused on the match. I evolved my strategy by sitting next to the commentary table far from the action. I told color commentator Corey Graves to refer to me as the future WWE Champion. While Sheamus and Woods stopped my ladder ascent, they inadvertently caused Shinsuke to defy gravity. This match showcased my will and determination as I would keep climbing the ladder over and over despite the many attempts to stop me. Even if I was knocked down, I would get back up. I was the only one who deserves this win. Woods, who is nowhere near my level skill-wise, almost ruins the entire match by blasting my head on the ladder, leaving me dazed for the rest of the match. Despite the fogginess in my head, I pulled the ladder open and I begun to climb up to my destiny. Woods got another strike on me, but I held it together, and I pulled down the Money in the Bank briefcase. I had won, and proven myself to the blind CEO. I'd received my title opportunity, but unlike the usual cash-in, I was gonna do this differently. SmackDown morning. I made my way to Vince's office to let him know my plan and bask in the glory of my victory. On the way, Buddy Murphy approaches me and demands a match. Insulted that a rat would challenge a god, I decided to teach him a valuable lesson. I enter carrying the Money in the Bank, my key to ascension. Murphy enters carrying the burden of being boring. Unlike our first bout, I take control of the contest in seconds and hit Murphy with a picture-perfect butterfly pile driver. Murphy could only struggle to breathe, so I went for the cover, but he had the audacity to kick out. Murphy was no longer worth my beautiful Star Destroyer. I'll show off my growth and grand evolution by using a new move in my arsenal, a picture-perfect shooting star press. Once again proving Murphy's just dirt underneath my feet. With Murphy out of my way, I walked over to Vince's office and told him to give me a mic tonight, so he granted me some time to speak with the WWE Universe. I took this chance to explain to the people that I was ready to be their champion, and I'm no coward and will not cash in the contract at the precise and opportune moment. I instead challenge ahead of time and make a match for the WWE Universal Championship on next week's SmackDown. It will be JP Valentine versus the current WWE Universal Champion, John Cena. 16-time world champion, WrestleMania headliner, has defeated the greatest of the greats like Brock Lesnar and The Rock, starred in blockbuster movies, and is the personification of a WWE wrestler. John Cena is the greatest challenge a wrestler can face, a certified megastar that is worthy of facing me.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall and is for the WWE Universal Championship.
Once the match was announced, for a moment it stopped feeling like a reality and just felt like a beautiful dream. As I cashed in my contract, I realized what was coming. The calm before the storm as I prepared to face someone truly on my level, a megastar. And then his music hit.
Here comes the personification of longevity and hard work, the 16-time world champion.
And not just a 16-time world champion, a Hollywood phenomenon, and a man who embodies the meaning of superstar.
Commentary was correct. This was the perfect embodiment of a superstar. As he entered flaunting the Universal Championship, I realized that Cena was holding my property, and I would be going home tonight with that belt. As we get ready, I finally feel like where I was meant to be all my life, in front of a crowd fighting for the greatest championship. Then the announcements happen.
Introducing the challenger from New York, weighing in at 215 pounds, Big Magic, JP Valentine. And introducing the champion from West Newbury, Massachusetts, weighing in at 251 pounds. He is the WWE Universal Champion, John Cena!
Emotions begin to pass through me. Today I'll achieve my dream and become a WWE megastar. It's time to be the epitome of greatness. The emotions take over, and for a brief second, I'm stunned. Then, the bell rings. Immediately I'm on him. Faster I strike, hoping to absolutely outclass him before he can even attack. Then I drop him and go for the cover. He throws me off before even a 1 count. Monster. Brushing off all my offense, he hits me with the belly-to-belly suplex. Wins the hell out of me. I struggle to gain my breath while he looked back stoically, unfazed by anything so far. Realizing I needed to up my offense, I hit him with the Moonsault Tornado DDT, the perfect attack. 1 count. I took him to the corner and hit him with the shotgun dropkick. 1 count. Remembering how I beat Murphy, I land a perfect shooting star press, but I know that can't be enough, so I go for a double knee drop. The monster gets out of the way and then leaps on me and just starts wailing away. I'm having trouble seeing straight now. He lifts me up like I'm nothing and hits an emerald flosion. Brings me to the corner. Scoop slam. I'm better than this man. I am a god. I take him down. I hit the double knee drop, followed by a double knee moonsault. I am the greatest. I cannot lose. He goes for his fisherman suplex. I counter into the Northern Lights. You were chosen for this. In desperation, I use the electric chair driver, a move that ruined Sheamus. He kicks out at 2. He's the first man to kick out of that. I'm not sure how he's even still moving. I cannot be struggling against him right now. I size him up and give him a clean boot to his blockhead. Going again for the cover. He kicks out at 1 again. Desperation, I lift him up for his own fisherman suplex. 2 count. He's weakening. He goes for a powerbomb, and I switch it up into a sunset flip pin. He kicks out at 2. I won't be able to sneak a victory from him. I go up to the top rope and try a move I failed once before. The dreams of glamour. It hits perfectly, and he kicks out at 2. When the opponent is faster than me, I strike harder. When the opponent strikes harder, I'm faster. When faced with odds I can't hope to beat, I'm the smartest one in the room. I have an answer for every opponent, so why can't I beat him? 1 move left. I prep the Star Destroyer. It lands perfectly. I see his eyes glazed over. Victory is mine. 1, 2. He kicks out. In my shocked state, he quickly turns things around and locks in the STF. I will not tap out. I came this far because I'm the best wrestler on the planet. I deserve this! Using all of my strength, I managed to break his hold and start to think of how to take him down when suddenly he hoists me in the air for the AAN.
Attitude adjustment.
In the blink of an eye, I lost.